What's up, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Hello to Big Merc and Arthur Nice. Good afternoon to you guys. And then Twitch Gaming. My voice is fully gone. I can imagine. What a great game to go and watch, though. Yeah, that'd be cool if you could get back to Wembley, because that was a really good final. Hello to Sipity as well. Wow, what a surprise. Lovely to see you in here. See, the Wednesday streams are back. And thank you so much, Sipity. Oh my God. When I see stuff like that, you've been a sub to the channel for 18 months. First of all, I'm like blown away by the support, honestly. I'm absolutely blown away by it. And then the second thought that comes into my head is, how have I been streaming for 18 months? Because it's gone like that. It's just gone, you know, like it's 5 minutes. So incredible. Thank you so much, Sipity. And congratulations to you as well on a really good game week on Pooky. I'm actually glad that you're here because I wonder whether, first of all, you have enough free Tip Scout coupons, and then second of all, if you do, whether you're going to take part in our weekly Pooky competition, throw your hat in the ring, because we could definitely do with your predicting prowess, man. You're very good at predicting, so yeah, I could really do with your help on my game week. And then also, if you get it right, we give you a limited card or a rare card, actually. We give you a rare card in general. Yeah, a really good result for Dortmund. Really good. I'm glad they went through. I wanted Dortmund to go through rather than Atletico. I don't know why. I'm not really a fan of Atletico. I've never really been a fan of them. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the manager. I'm not really a big fan of the manager. Yeah, I was kind of a fan of him when he was playing, but I'm not really a fan of him as a manager. I'm a bit short of the throw your hat in the ring. Need another 2,000 coupons. Okay, man. Let's see if you can get that over the course of the stream. Because 2,000 coupons sounds like a lot, but you might actually be able to get them. Yeah, I could do that as well. Yeah, because I know that you don't really play Sorare as much, so for sure I could definitely give you like a sticker instead. Yeah, rather than a Sorare card. Yeah, totally, no problem at all, man. So yeah, once you have enough coupons and you wanna take part in it, just redeem the throw your hat in the ring, and then we'll kind of pause the stream. We'll do your prediction, and then yeah, if it ends up being 100% correct on the weekend, then rather than you win a card, I can give you a Pooky sticker instead. All right. On the case of Pooky, actually, let's just quickly head over to there, because I need to do my predictions for the last two Champions League games, and we deliberately held off doing them yesterday because I wanted to see how it went in these two games first, so that would then like dictate to us whether we need to go a bit crazier with our predictions or whether we need to play it safe. Now, we haven't had an exact score. We haven't not scored. So we've scored points in every single game, but we've not scored an exact score. And what that means is that it puts us in 148th position, which is good because we're, you know, kind of comfortably in the top 50%. But I really want to push harder than that. I want to kind of get into the top 100. Ideally, I wanted the top 50. So I think what we need to do is we need to maybe put some kind of crazy prediction in. So let's do that now. All right, so Bayern, Arsenal. Sipity's going to love this one. Bayern, Arsenal, I mentioned it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. I think Arsenal are going to get humbled here. I think they're going to get humbled. I just can't see Arsenal going to Bayern and beating Bayern, and I cannot see the game going past 90 minutes either. I think Bayern will get the job done in 90 minutes. Now, maybe I'm disrespecting Arsenal a bit there. fine. I'm happy to do it. But if we did back Arsenal to win, right? Let's say we backed Arsenal to win like 2-1 or something, right? Because, you know, like Bayern are going to score at home. So let's say maybe Arsenal could get 2. It's only 268.1 points there. That's terrible. There's no way that I would do that type of prediction for that amount of return. Now, we could then do 3-1 and then it's 503. For me, that's not going to happen. It's attractive, right? Because the points is a lot. But for me, I can't see that happening at all. Now, we could argue here that maybe, because I think it's going to go over 2.5, we could argue that it's going to be 2-2 for 351.9, which it could be because it was very much like that in the first game, right? Let's go back to the first game in case you guys don't know. So it was 2-2 from the first game. So we could do another like 2-2, but I don't think so. I think that Bayern can win 3-1. I don't think 3-0. I think Arsenal will score. But I was thinking more like 2-1 or 3-1. Now 2-1's only 267. So I would actually fancy a 3-1 here because that's 503. And remember that where I am in this leaderboard at the moment, like getting 260 is not really going to be enough to boost me up the leaderboard. So we might as well go for it here rather than just try and pick a safer, maybe more realistic type of score. I don't want to win that. I want to win big here. And actually, I think that 503 points for Bayern to beat Arsenal 3-1 at home, I don't think that that is a crazy reality. I actually think that that could realistically happen. And so if you're going to give me 503 for Bayern to beat Arsenal at home, and if we look at the 3-1 here for Arsenal, it's exactly the same. I'm going to do it for Bayern. So I'm going to go 3-1 because I think that realistically could happen. I think that Arsenal could get humbled tonight, and I cannot see them going and beating Bayern away from home at the Allianz Stadium. I can't see it. Like, maybe they can get a draw. I just cannot see Arsenal going and beating Bayern. But the Bayern team, in my opinion, is just as strong, if not stronger, than the Arsenal side. And they're at home. And this is the only competition that they have to win, Bayern. They know they need to give it their all. So I'm gonna go for this, I think. 3-1. And we're gonna lock it in. What are you guys saying on this one here? You'd be good to bet a 2-goal winning margin. Plays out a lot in these games where there's 1 goal in it, the chasing team overcommits and ends up 2 goals down late on. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. 3-1 is exactly what you predicted as well, Twitch Gaming. And Nasty Flame doesn't think that it is, it's too unpredictable or too unrealistic. Yeah, you did have a couple of big humblings, didn't you, Sippity? Yeah, in comparison, this wouldn't be a big humble. But I think with what's at stake here, I know that a lot of people are expecting Arsenal to go and do really well because they've been having a great season, right? Just think they're gonna fold. I think. Let's see, but they could make me look like a complete idiot now for saying this. But I just think they're gonna fold. I think they're gonna fold under the pressure here of going to one of the biggest giants in world football, who have their back against the wall and need to deliver here. And now that they know that the title's over for Bayern, they know that this is everything now for them. So I'm going to go for it. And I hope it's correct now, because this will really shoot us up the leaderboard, 503. So we're going to enter this in. The pooky ball that we're going to use is this one here, because we are frantically trying to get this up to level 60 now. We've got our other ones here. This is a rare up to level 60. This is another rare that we got up to level 60. This is the third one this is the third one We're trying to get up to level 60. And then once we've done that, we're then going to be using this ball frantically to get that one up to level 60. And then we can create 2 epic pooky balls, which will be amazing, because those will then get valued at $800 minimum in August, which is going to put us in a really good position for the new game format on Pooky. So let's lock that one in. You was in Munich for one of them. So glad their beer was good to take the edge off. It is very good beer over in Munich, in Germany as a whole, I think. But yeah, especially in Munich. Stinks of Harry Kane losing in the final and still not getting a trophy. It probably is going to happen, isn't it? Harry Kane is almost cursed, it feels like. I mean, if they don't win anything, if they don't win this Champions League, despite Harry Kane scoring 40 goals or whatever, then the man must be cursed. He does love a goal against Arsenal. Do you remember I said last week, Harry Kane loves to score against Arsenal. His record against Arsenal is one of the best records that he has against any club that he faces. So I am expecting him to score again. And hopefully he can get a hat-trick and Bayern can end up beating Arsenal 8-0. I'm hating on Arsenal now. I'm not a big fan of them. But yeah, if they can win, that'd be lovely. And if they win and it's over 2.5 goals as well, which is what I'm expecting, then even if we don't get this exactly right at 3-1, we could maybe expect to score like that, like over 100 points. But this needs to return us a minimum of 100 points here to keep us climbing and hopefully get really far up. All right, Man City, Real Madrid. Right, any takers on this one? What are we fancying for Man City, Real Madrid here, guys? And then I'm going to tell you what I think I'm going to do. Because, you know, to be honest with you, I think this game could be anything. It really could. It could be high scoring. It could be low scoring. It could be no scoring. This could be anything. I think this is a difficult one to call. Arthur has gone for 2-3. 2-3? You went 2-2, you mean? I'm not quite sure I follow that. Oh, but you think 2-3, but you went 2-2. Okay, you think Real Madrid can beat Man City away? Wow. They could do, to be fair. And then Sipity's going for City 3-1. Wow. Who do we think is the better team here? Like, genuine question. Who do you think, when you look at the two teams on paper, who do you think is better, Man City or Real Madrid? Because Real Madrid have some real big players in their team. Yeah, City. Does anyone actually think Real Madrid are the better team here? Just out of curiosity. Let's have a look at the two teams on SofaScore from the first game, where it finished 3-3, which was absolutely mental. There's so much talent on the pitch here. Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Foden, Haaland, Grealish, Vardiol, Diaz. And over here, they've got Cruz, Rodrigo, Bellingham, Vinny Jr., Valverde, Camavinga, Tukameni. Oh, that's so good. It's like a mouth-watering tie. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think that City are better now. Real Madrid, with the youngsters that they have coming up, are going to be, like, especially the Gula. They have Gula, and then let's not forget about... oh, I forgot his name. What's his name? The youngster from Palmeiras. What's his name? Somebody help me out. Complete mind blank. Hendrick, that's the one. Thank you. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. It was 3-3 in the first leg. This is difficult because Madrid have it in them to score 2. Here's what I'm going to do. I don't know. I mean, I almost want to do this here, where I want to do something like that. Is it going to be as crazy as the first one? What would be a scoreline that nobody would be thinking about? Look, 1-0 is 284. Can you imagine if it was 0-0? That would really catch people by surprise, wouldn't it? Sent you a whisper on Twitch about my shortlist idea, FTS. Absolutely no rush in regards to it, though. Oh, thanks, man. I've not had funny enough, I've not had a chance to check it out. But I will. Yeah, thank you, man, for dropping me a message on that. 2-2 is 386, which allows us to target a 1-1, a 0-0, and also an over 2.5. What are the bookies saying here? I'm slightly struggling with this one because I want to back Man City, but I really don't feel there's a huge difference between the two sides here. And look at that. Real Madrid are priced at 4.8. 4.8. From a betting perspective, that is really good value. Because the way that you should look at these types of things is that Man City are, in my opinion, the better team. They have the home advantage. They were locked in the first leg 3-3. And they, I think, have a good chance to win this game. But it's not like you would look at the game, I think, and would say, definitely it's going to be Man City that win. Which is why they have to be, like, hugely the favourites here with no question. So when you look at this from like a betting or a predicting perspective, you would see the price point here of 1.6 and you would compare Man City's form, the team that they have compared to Real Madrid. And you would then look and say, well, there's almost no way that Real Madrid should be priced so high because Real Madrid can match them, right? And they did match them in the first leg. So you wouldn't say that they should be priced like that realistically. So that's almost like where the value bet is that you would almost take a bet against Man City by saying that Real Madrid can avoid defeat. So you would do something like a double chance here, because the double chance at 2.25 means that you get two outcomes here. So if Man City like either lose or draw, then you're going to win. You would win the bet, basically. So for two outcomes, you get 2.25, which is significantly better than backing one outcome at 1.6 for Man City, when that outcome itself is not very clear or clear-cut that that is actually what would happen. And it could be a case that you end up losing. You would, like, if you put a bet on it, it could be a case that you would lose that, right? But that's an example of when you would look at a game and you would do a smart play here by going for two outcomes in a game that could easily be a draw, or even Real Madrid could sneak it. Because the value is much more weighted there than it is to back a Man City at 1.6 when it's really not guaranteed that they can actually win that. And because I see it like that, it doesn't really incentivize me to back Man City to win now. Because if we do, we would have to do a scoreline probably like that, in order to get a good return, because the odds for Man City to win are so low. Like, look, 1-0, 284, 2-0, 271, 2-1, 227. It's not worth the time, really. 3-1 is 318. I can't see it being 3-1. It could be. It could be, to be fair. Could it be another 3-3? Yeah, I'm thinking about 3-2 more. Because then we are actually backing Man City to win. I kind of do think that they should be able to win this one. I don't actually think it would be 3-2, but I would prefer to do that in case it does end up being another crazy game of 3-2. And if it isn't, and if it is just Man City that win 2-1, for example, or 3-1, then we are still going to get over 100 points here. The 2-2 is 386, which is okay, but and again, if you wanted to do like a tactical prediction here, then this is probably what you would do, 2-2 or 3-3, right? Unlikely it's going to be 3-3 again. The fact that that happened once is already rare. But if you'd done 3-3, and if it ended up being 3-3, you'd be laughing with 638 points there. And if it isn't 3-3, if it was like 1-1 or 2-2, you're still going to get points for the draw. If it ends up being 2-1 or 3-2 or whatever, you're still going to get points for an over 2.5. So I think if we was in a higher position in the leaderboard, we'd probably do a tactical prediction like this, just so we can guarantee almost that we get some points for it. The only way you don't win points here is if it's like an under 2.5 scoreline, right? So if it was like 1-0 or like a 1-1's fine, but if it was like a 1-0 either way or a 2-0 either way, you're not going to get anything. But generally speaking, in this type of fixture, that would be that one or this one here would be quite a good tactical prediction to do. But because we're trying to go for it here, I think we need to be a bit braver. And so we will back Man City to win, and we'll do a 3-2, I think. Yeah, because the points are just worth it for that, compared to 2-1 for 227. Let's do that there. All right, cool. But as I say, if we weren't playing pooky, so forget about pooky for a second, right? If I wasn't playing pooky, I wouldn't do that prediction. Like if I was going to have a bet on this game here, I wouldn't bet on Man City to win, because that's not where the value is here. So it's like, it's called value betting. That the value there is not there. The value is in backing, because the odds are so high for these two outcomes, and there's not a big difference between the two teams. The actual value is on backing Real Madrid to either win or draw. So yeah, if any of you guys are ever looking at betting, just a little bit of an insight into how you can be smart with making those types of odds work better for you than putting all your eggs in one basket for an outcome that's not really guaranteed, that doesn't offer a lot of value. I need to say a big thank you as well, don't I, to Malv for the resub and the 4 months of support. You would go with 2-1, would you? Okay, so we've got it in. Right, so those are our predictions for the remaining two Champions League games tonight. 3-1 for Bayern to beat Arsenal, and then 3-2 for Man City to beat Real Madrid. So if we get those both correct, we're going to get 1,000 points, over 1,000 points. And that's the type of gamble that we need to take. We need to go for it so that we can win big. And if we do win big, we can then get massively boosted up the leaderboard here. Because if we got both of those correct, we'd have like 1,500 points. And that would, in theory, it should give us a top 50 finish there, which will then allow us to win significantly more than what we're winning at the moment, which is anywhere between 1.66 Matic and 2.16, which is, you know, like about £1.30 to like £1.80, something like that. I'd much prefer to go for it now and then see if we can get kind of into this range here where we could maybe win like £5 or something, £5 or more. Right, because we're still on Pooky, do we have any throw your hat in the rings at all? Because we have 110 energy left over, which is exactly enough for us to predict the remaining 11 games in the USA League for the game week. I bought a sticker pack, by the way. Send you a video on Discord if you want to watch it and tell me if it's good or bad. Okay. Let's do it. Thank you, by the way. And if we have any throw your hat in the rings, then let me know and we'll do them now. Here we go. All right, let's open this up then. Well, let's play it. So this is from Twitch Gaming. Let's see what he gets here. Is it stalled? Is this... It's stalled, right? Why isn't it working? Hey? Is this my video or what's going on here? This is my video. What happened there? Why did it stop? There we go. All right. Let's see what you got. 4-0 to the away team. It's actually a pretty good sticker to have, though. It's better than getting a club. You don't really need clubs anymore with the league passes coming in. Oh, my God. 4-0 away and 4-4. Wow. Wow. Oh, my God. I don't think I've ever seen a 4-4 sticker. How many were there? How many did it say there were? 39 in circulation. Wow. I mean, probably quite a good sticker in many ways to have. I guess if we weren't going into the new format, it probably would be. Because then if it ever ended up being 4-4 and you had that sticker fully maxed out, then you would get some ridiculous boost, right? To a 4-4. But, yeah. Probably not so great in general. What are you going to do with it? I'd be selling that. I'd see if you could sell that. Yeah. I think if I was in your position, I'd probably be trying to sell that on OpenSea. Yeah, you are going to look to sell the 4-4 one. Yeah, I think you should try and do it. There must be some mad collector out there that wouldn't mind having a 4-4. We do have a throw your hat in the ring as well from Tistil. So if you are new to this competition, this is something you can play for free. You don't need to have a Pooky account at all because we're using my Pooky account to do the predictions. But you basically tell me a match that you want to do a score on, and then I enter that in on my Pooky game week. And then if you get that score 100% correct. So in the example here, let's go and have a look. In this one, we asked a viewer live on the channel what game they wanted to do, and they told us that they wanted to do Columbus Crew against Portland, and the score they wanted to go with was 3-1. If that game in real life ends up being 3-1, then they are going to win a Sorare card. Okay? And the Sorare card that you can win, you can choose which one you want to win. So we have a ton of cards in this kind of giveaways list here, and you can pick which one you want to win. Okay, so we've got a couple of rares in there. We've got some new season cards, some old season cards. It's a bit of a mixed bag in there, but that's why you get to choose, right? Because there'll be some players that you'll like more. And so in this case here, we've had another prediction from Tisdale, and he says 2-0 New York City FC. Hello to Mark Gork as well. How you doing, man? V Gates. Alles gut? 2-0 New York City. There we go, 2-0. Yeah, you sure, Tisdale? 100%, this is what you want to do? Let's do it. Okay, so we're going to go for 2-0 New York City FC versus DC United. That is what Tisdale wanted to predict. So we're going to do it now. Done. And then we're going to dive into our spreadsheet here. And we are going to update the spreadsheet for our Pooky predictions here. The throw your hat in the ring. We're going to do New York City FC versus, who is it? DC United, right? And then we're going to do 2-0, and then we're going to put Tisdale in there. All right, cool. So there we go. So it's as easy as that. It's as easy as that. And the way that you can get on the list here is you need to have earned 8,500. It's 8,500, isn't it? I'm not just making it up. It's 8,500 from memory, the coupons. And if you've earned that much by being on the live streams, by subbing to the channel, gifting out subs, following the channel, jumping on raids, there's a whole load of different things that you can do which will give you more coupons. But if you do none of that and you just jump on the streams, then you're earning them every minute of a stream anyway. And then once you've saved up 8,500, you then just redeem the coupon, and you can find the coupons. There's a little yellow ticket that you'll be able to see in the chat. Click on it, and then that's where all the coupons live. And then you just redeem the throw your hat in the ring. And yeah, then we can take your prediction down, add you to the list here, and then fingers crossed you can win a card. Anyone can submit a prediction, yeah. As long as you have saved up 8,500 coupons, you can do it. You don't need to be a sub to the channel. You don't need to be following. You don't need to be playing Pooky, although I recommend that you do, because it's a very, very good game, fun game, and quite rewarding as well. It's a play-to-earn game. But if you really didn't want to do all of that, you don't have to. You just need to make sure that you have 8,500 coupons from being on the channel. And then when you do, redeem the coupon, and we'll take your prediction and we'll put it in. Do we have any more? Remember, guys, it's first come, first serve. So if you really want to predict, for example, Inter Miami, Nashville, then you need to try and do it as soon as you can, because if somebody else takes that, that's gone, right? You then can't do it. And you want to try and predict the games which you feel most confident on that you can win, right? So you almost don't want to be at the point where you want to play this game, this competition, but then it's so late in the week that the only games that are left are the ones that you don't want to predict, that you don't feel confident enough that you can win. So as I mentioned, first come, first served. Make sure you get involved as soon as you can, because once they go, they're gone, and then you have to wait until next week to have a chance to win cards in this way. Arthur has redeemed one as well. Good man. And he is going for Miami, Nashville 3-2. Actually a good prediction, I think. Yeah, 3-2 for 509.4 points. So we put this in now for Arthur. And if it ends up being 3-2 in real life, then Arthur's going to win himself a card, a Sorare card, which he gets to choose. Okay, so let's go and add Arthur's prediction in as well. Thank you, Arthur. Okay, so Inter Miami. And then we do 3-2, and then we do Arthur. The one and only Arthur Nice, with a nice prediction there. It's a good man. Nice. That is your word, isn't it? That is Arthur's word. If I look up nice in the dictionary, it's going to show me the definition of it. It's going to just come up with Arthur there, Arthur Nice. On Free Tip Scout stream. Right, any more? Any more takers at the moment? The coupon for this is going to be open all stream. So if you end up having enough coupons later on, you can still redeem it later on. But it will be open until the start of the game week. So yeah, as I mentioned, you can redeem it whenever, but it's first come, first served. Okay. Right. What I want to do is something a little bit different. We will look at cap cheat codes, but I want to look at the cap cheat codes in relation to my team. So a little bit different. One of the things that I've been kind of debating here is whether I actually want to keep Musa, because I had him up for sale, but then we realized that we don't have enough forwards, right? So we've had to play him, even though I kind of would technically like to sell him to make the profit on him. So I think what I want to do is I want to look for another forward that has an L15 of 48 or below. And if I can find one, then I'll, especially if I can find one cheap as well, I then might actually look to bring that forward in, and then I can get Musa listed up for sale. In fact, why don't we do this here? We put Laurent in for now, when we know that actually Peter Musa would probably go in there if we don't find a replacement. And then what we can do is we can go back and we can put Peter Musa up for sale. I need to start doing that more, where I kind of know that I want to play somebody, but I also wouldn't mind selling them. So I have them up for sale. I put like a placeholder card in that position, knowing that they're probably not going to play if we don't sell the player. Okay. .032. Let's do that. All right. You actually got a card from one of the boxes yesterday, did you? I haven't asked yet. What did you guys get for rewards yesterday? And what was the card that you got from the box, Tisdale? You got $2. You got better than me, though, Arthur. I didn't win anything. I would have probably taken $2, really. Oh, yeah, I know him, yeah. Boxes to throw in the bin. I won't believe it's possible to get a card from them before I get one. It is. I got one. Funny enough, I got a card in like my third or fourth box total that I've ever opened on Sorare. And I got, it was my first ever reward box in Pro. So I got the card from my first ever reward box that I won from the Pro competition. And then I got really lucky. It is possible though, but it's a very low chance. As we know. Okay, filter. Oh, we haven't done it by has a game in the next game week. Okay. 469. We're probably going to need to, I think, we don't have to, but I will probably want to put some kind of a filter on this here. $1,579. Ideally, I would like to look for somebody that is lower than £50. Much lower, really. Why don't we do it differently? Why don't we do it by floor? Can't believe, well, I can believe. I need to stop saying I can't believe because it's Sorare. I was going to say I can't believe that the prices are so low, but of course we can. Let's actually do 20 here. No, 30. Let's do 33. Right, 1,151 is a lot. So we are going to try and filter that out a little bit. Wouldn't mind having a forward with a little bit of an AA, but let's do 5 there. Okay, that's a little bit better now. Much more manageable. Going through like 100. And if we can sort this by floor, ascending. Wow, Ambrose is back. He was out with an injury for a long time. I didn't think he would be back before the season ended. Courtrai are most likely getting relegated. He's actually a pretty useful player, though. He has a long contract with them. If they got relegated, he maybe has a relegation clause which allows him to be bought. It'd actually pair up quite nicely with my Kadri. Yeah, that was it. Achilles tendon rupture. Was out for 191 days. Ouch. His record, scoring-wise, is not super amazing. He actually came through, look, he came through the Man City Academy. So he's always been a player that has, caught my eye. Anybody who really comes through the Man City Academy should be fairly okay. I think the problem with him is that if you look at the clubs that he's really joined, Radar, not that great. He actually done okay for them, though. Lons is pretty decent, and his scoring there was quite low, but he also got involved in some assists as well. His record at Metz was terrible, and they played for Stender, who are shocking. They're a really bad team. He's only played 3 games for Courtrai. Really? God, he has, isn't he? That he played in his first game for them. He got injured. How unlucky is that? Played 45 minutes, got injured, and then has basically missed the whole season. And these are the second and third appearances. Wow. Carlo Holst is really cheap. Looks like he's suspended for the next game. Interesting. We like this guy, but he's not starting enough at the moment. He is good though. Don't really like this guy. I don't really need a player for the weekend, but because we have one technically with Peter Musa, and what I'm thinking is that I could maybe try and sell Peter Musa and then play a different, like bring in a different forward that we could also still use in Challenger, because we can use Musa in Challenger and he has a full season ahead of him. But then we can still have a decent forward that we can play in Cap 240 with the cap cost of the L15 lower than what we need. And what I would then do with the Peter Musa money is keep some of it in the game to then go and buy another player, like an Areola, for example. Because I really like Areola. I think he's good. And he has good AA as well. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. I wouldn't mind cashing out some more money from the game. What's the biggest surprise team for you so far in the MLS FTS? Ooh, good question. Good question. I think probably the biggest surprise, well, it's maybe not the biggest surprise, really. I was going to say I've been moderately surprised by Portland, because with Portland now under the management of Phil Neville, I didn't think that Portland would be, and they're not doing that great, but I didn't think that Portland would be doing as good as they have. So they've been doing shocking, but they've still been doing better than what I thought. I actually thought that Portland would be down here, like at the bottom. Because, you know, Phil Neville's a shocking manager. How on earth he got this job, I don't know. He's done nothing to deserve getting that job. He's basically got that job based off his name and his reputation from largely being a footballer. He has not got this job at all from his achievements or his abilities as a manager. I think it shows that. But, I mean, they had a good start. They lost 3 games there, then they've kind of drawn a bit more. Then get a few more wins under their belt, they might be able to get up here. I think another big surprise really has been around Dallas, though. Dallas haven't quite clicked. New England haven't really been at the races either. And Jose have been shocking. Yeah, it's been an interesting start to the MLS, I think. New York Red Bulls being 3rd in the overall standings is a surprise to me because I don't really rate them. And they pretty much still play the same, where they don't score a lot of goals, they don't concede a lot of goals, but they've just managed to not lose as much. So, yeah. What about you? What about you, man? What's been the biggest surprise for you so far in the MLS, do you think? Hmm. Afternoon to League. Well, Nashville is my negative surprise so far, even though it's not really a surprise somehow. On the positive side, I think Colorado is doing really well, or at least starting to do well now. Yeah, they are. I thought they'd be smashing it. They didn't really smash it at the start, but they are coming together now. They have some great young players in there too. Yeah, it's good to see from Colorado. Should have really left some money in. I knew I'd probably have to do this. I should have left some money in um, when I cashed out yesterday. Okay, let's do that. I'm actually glad that Satonio has changed the card. Isn't that interesting? I was looking at the card which he had before, which was Ivan. Who was it? It was the goalkeeper, one of the goalkeepers, the Croatian goalkeepers. Um, I think he plays for Gorica. I'm not sure. And the goalkeeper, anyway, his value's so low now that I was like, I don't really want to be sending like £100 worth of cards against a card that is worth like £50 now. Bazanu should be worth a lot more. Yeah, so that's better. I'm glad that he's changed that, because I deliberately didn't send some trade offers because I saw that the card I was trading up against was so low in value. I just didn't trust it, because what if he accepts it? Then I've basically given away £100 worth of cards for like a £50 card. Just didn't like it, but now I prefer it. Much better. That was it, Lucic, yeah. And like Lucic now, if you look at the price of Lucic, right, in comparison, yeah, he's not playing for Gorica for hashtag split. He's like £80. Can't really have that as the base card that you trade against, right? Whereas having like a £400 card makes a lot more sense, because most of the time people are going to be offering cards which are worth less than that card, rather than, you know, a card which is not worth more than the cards that they are sending a trade offer for. Yeah, he does actually, yeah. Okay, we have a rejection from Rav, and then we have a counter from Sahis here, who would give us, wow. Okay, it's pretty bad actually. £20 for Hoyos, Pacheco, and Bolly. And we would get £16.64. Wow, which is even worse from Basilbot. Let's see what Satonio says. Hello to Twisted Fortune. How you doing, man? Just bought Trisoldi for the Cap 220. How much did he cost you? Oh my God, what's happened there? Come on. €2.60? Oh wow. I mean, it's not a great offer technically, because we are going to be losing too many players here. But look at the difference, though. It's exactly the same offer. This is mental, isn't it? This is exactly the same offer that we sent to Basilbot and Sahis. Now, Basilbot and Sahis have taken out Peter Musa. So without Peter Musa, the value goes down a lot. Yeah, I think if we sent it without Musa, it'd be interesting to see like what he would give us here. Why don't we do it? Let's take Musa out. Take Musa out and say, yeah, give us £61.58 for that. What happens when you do that? Surely he's just going to reject it. We... yeah. I don't know why they've taken Musa out. Let's try that again. What the fuck's going on here? I think we would have to, yeah, we cannot receive, that's fine. Okay. Let's reject that quickly. What am I doing wrong here? Why can I not counter this, right? I don't want to send Musa, but then I'm kind of always saying like, I want to try and trigger it again. So maybe I need to not be doing that. And I just say like a different price, right? Add Baznu in. Let's do that. Thank you. What? You cannot both receive and send funds, but we're not. Let's review the counteroffer. Okay, that should work now, shouldn't it? Yeah. Thank you. Let's try that and see what we get for it. Like, it'd be interesting to compare what we get compared to Basilbot and Sahis here. Yeah, so then we get like £22.72, which compares to the £19.80 from Sahis and then £16.64. It's still not a great offer, but I am considering it because Michael Hoyos, I love Michael Hoyos. I think he's great. Really good. He doesn't have a game. He doesn't have a game this weekend, but he has Palmeiras next midweek. Because what I'm thinking is that could, in theory, accept that. Then it gives us enough money to then go and get a Paul Areola, for example. We could then play in Threshold, and then we can still have Peter Musa up for sale. You'll match the 23 if you're going to accept it. Want some rares and have money burning. Thank you, Scuzz, by the way. Yeah. I'd much prefer to sell to one of you guys than to a bot. Hmm. One second. Because I do like Areola. He's not been great so far, but nobody from Dallas has been great. The thing with Areola is that he's got that AA, which could really help us in threshold a bit more. I think I'm going to do it. And if I do it, then I want to sell it to Scuds if he's going to match the offer. Yeah, let's do it, Scuds. If you want to do it, I'm happy to do it. I can sell you these 3 for 23 quid. And then you're going to have some rares there, some good rares as well. Bolly, I think, actually could go for a lot more than 23, really. I bought him for £5.87. Look at that. £5.87. It's been doing really good at the moment. Yeah, if you send me an offer, then, yeah, I'll accept it. And then you can have these 3 players here of Hoyos, Pacheco, Bolly. And then that will allow me to keep trying to sell Peter Musa. And then I can go out and buy Paul Areola. Top man. Top man. Thank you for the offer, Scuds. I really appreciate it. So there you go. We're going to send those over to you now, man. Are you looking to... You said you're looking to build. Are you? You want some more rares? You've got some good players here, especially Bolly and Hoyos there. Especially Hoyos, because you guys know I love this guy. I think he's brilliant. So thank you, man. All right, and then we've got 2680. So we go and buy that one. Oh, does he not accept... oh, he doesn't. Oh, how annoying is that? He doesn't accept cash. Oh, that's pretty annoying. We can get one of these, though. Probably for cheaper as well. We'll put a couple of offers in here. Building into rares for the summer. Smart, man. We took that off, just out of curiosity. That opens up an additional... That opens up an additional 87, but then what I'm kind of interested in Challenger, really, would then, I think, be the MLS, right? Well, not exclusively the MLS, though. We also need to put the Superliga in. And then we have 28. And we've got Veroni in there, Agadar, Areola, who we're hovering for. Bakra. Bakra's actually quite cheap, isn't he? He's like L15 at 39. His classic card is £20. He's not been doing very well at all. He doesn't really have the AA, which is why I wouldn't really look at him. But for a 23-year-old and under 23 forward, it's not bad. He's got the potential for good scores in him. I just don't like that he doesn't have any AA. Kevin Cabral. Okay, cool. So why don't we put an offer in then? Let's do the cash option here. Okay, and then we'll put an offer in for these two. Now this guy's online. Let's see if he wants to do any business with us here. Okay, I want to see if we can get him for less than 20. Let's start there. Okay. So we've got the offer out there, and then whilst that's out, yeah, cool. I know. Yeah, I don't have it autofill. I almost don't trust the autofill. It's kind of a good habit to get into, though, constantly typing your password in. Interesting. God, Pavel's only got one Areola. I thought he'd have a lot more than that. We can see that Basilbot is selling an Areola. Not really the one that I want, though. It's a midfielder card. And then Rav doesn't have a listing, I believe. But maybe he has him in his gallery, he just doesn't have him listed up yet. No, he doesn't. Okay, no rares for Areola here. Okay, so we'll see how we can get on here. There's the offer. Let's see what he comes back with. And if we don't get anywhere, we can always try this guy as well. But yeah, it'd be quite cool if we can get him. Because then what that will allow me to do, he has exactly the same L15 as well as Peter Musa. It's got 44. And Musa has 44 as well. He's got a counter offer from him. 24. I wonder if we can just meet in the middle. I went 20. He's got it up for 26. I wonder if we can meet somewhere around 23. Yeah. So we get him for just under 0.1 or 0.01. Let's try that. I like that he's active at the moment. He's coming back to us, which is always good. How much would Satonio give us for... We've got a counter from him already. Is this a bot? This feels like a bit of a bot. The kind of the 23's almost been knocked back, and he wants 24.10. That is, to be fair, still under the 0.01. Let's do it. I thought we could try to get it for 23. The extra pound might come in handy later down the line, but it doesn't look like it, and that's okay, because this is actually kind of a reasonable counter. We kind of came in, to be fair, probably a little bit lower initially, but I'm happy that he's willing to negotiate, and 24 is something that I can work with, so I think we're going to go with it. I wanted to get a player for really under 30, and then getting a player for under £30 that's then under 0.01 ETH is actually pretty good. I don't like to take the piss with people that are active, and like his counter was reasonable. Okay, so we now have Paul Arriola, which is great. So what we can do is we can go into our lineup now. We can take out our placeholder for Cap 240, which was Laurent Deportois, or however you say his surname. And then we're going to put Paul Arriola in, which is great, because now we've got, again, another Dallas forward who has the same L15. Actually has better AA as well, which makes Paul Arriola much better suited to a threshold than Peter Musa is. And then we can still try and sell Peter Musa. I'm happy with that. That's good business, that. Now, what I want to do... I mean, to be honest with you, we're going to get a really poor offer, but I want to see what the offer would be. I'm really not, I don't think, looking to sell Musa to a bot. But I would be interested to know how much Satonio would give us for Peter Musa. Connected late. What's the reasoning behind getting an Arriola? Sure starter and high potential. Yeah, well, Arriola, I think Arriola is the captain, though, for Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, he's the captain. So I like that he's the captain because it means that when he's fit, he's usually gonna play every game. I also like the fact that Areola is a player that is a forward in the game that has good AA because he plays kind of on the wing. So this AA for a forward is not amazing, but it's actually pretty good. And he has the potential where he can give you kind of high-end scoring, goals and assists. And what I kind of like here, this is good. Like, I don't mind these scores here of like 52 with an AA of 17.5, 50, basically 48 with 13. Like this here, getting that AA of like 10 points or more is really good. And what I kind of want to do is I want to try and cash in on Peter Musa if I can. Say like, look, he's going to give us £40 for Peter Musa, which is what we wouldn't do. But it's nice to know what we would get. I want to cash in on Peter Musa because we bought him quite cheap and his value is quite high now. And then what I'll aim to do is if we can sell Peter Musa, let's say that we could sell Peter Musa for, oh, going in the wrong place here. I want to sell Peter Musa for as much as I can, right? But let's say that we can only sell Peter Musa for like £50. That's £50 that I'll take out the game. Because that's £50 that I will want to spend in a different game. That I don't need to have in this game anymore. If we can't sell Peter Musa, then before the game week, then the advantage is that we could still play Peter Musa somewhere. We could probably play him over here. But then if we don't sell Peter Musa, what we could do is we could play Musa, for example, and then maybe Areola now together. Right? Like that. Stocks FC. I'm already playing that. I have a very small investment in it. But no, that's not where the extra money would be going into. Look at all my players. They're all going down. I mean, some of these players are going down because they're towards the end of the season. Others are just going down just because it's rare. Some of it's down to poor performances as well, but very difficult for them to maintain the prices. Marco John's £14.50. He's climbing a bit. Yeah, I'm the same with Scuds. Like, have a very small amount of money in the game. It's not really grabbing my attention though, to be honest with you. There's not really much you can do on it. Like I think it's actually kind of good, but it's not very fun, really. You can't really do much on it. It's very passive, as Scud said. So you just basically buy players and you just sit back, and then once you've bought them, you don't need to do anything else really. I guess you could be a lot more active on there doing like aggressive trading. So you could be buying and selling players every day if that was your thing. But that's not really my thing. I don't mind trading and buying and selling every now and then. But I much prefer the scouting aspect and putting together high-performing teams, right? Or successful builds, if you want to call that. I get more enjoyment out of that than I do from buying and selling. But I think if you were a trader on Sorare and you've been kind of frustrated with how the market has gone, the trading market on Sorare has gone over the last 2 years, then probably stocks is a great opportunity to then transition over and get that fix for trading over there then that you can't really get as much over on Sorare anymore. If you wonder what I'm doing, I'm just looking at my gallery here. I'm just trying to figure out, are there any other players that I could cash in on, as in sell them for profit? Don't actually think there is really, because like most of my players are down. So Dominguez we bought for more than that. Kofa we bought for a lot more than that. Moose is probably the only one at the moment I can see where we bought for significantly lower than his floor or his average price, right? Slovic we bought for around 130. Gilia I can't sell even if I wanted to. I bought him with a credit. And so when you buy with a primary credit from Sorare, you are not allowed to sell. It doesn't allow you to sell a player within 2 weeks of buying them. Spent far too much on Gilia, really, even without the credit. The actual money that I spent on Gilia, look at this here. The £108. Now keep in mind that £40 of that was a credit. So I spent about £70 of my own money. And that was on the 11th of April. And then, look, 3 days later, he's gone for £34. So, not my finest moment. I was a little bit annoyed because there was another bidder that seemed to kind of just drive the price up really high. And then I kind of got, because I really needed him for the game week. That was the whole plan, to get him in for last game week, where we could try and win a competition with a full stack. I didn't want to let it go. I think if I hadn't needed him, I would have been like, nah, you have him. But then, yeah, I kind of got dragged into a bit of a bidding war, which, yeah, now I'm in him forever, aren't I, really, Gilia? But I like him anyway. It's fine. But yeah, bit annoyed that it went up to that when I really wanted to pay around this, actually, 50, 60. And we paid nearly double. Yeah, it's still not as bad as this, is it? Yeah, you're right. But these are the old cards, though. That's the problem. These are the old cards. So it's probably even worse, actually, that these are the older cards that now don't have the season bonus. So, and that wasn't that long ago either. I mean, the other big solace that I take from it is that it's an under 23. It's like a 19-year-old. So it is a really good long-term investment. And even though he didn't do so great in that last game, where they conceded 2 goals. I think there's a good player here. He's made a penalty save already as well. I think he's got potential for the future. I will need to look at getting Sebastian Perez, though, because when Perez comes back, he's going to be on the bench again. And so we're going to need to have another player, have the goalkeeper for Católica. Otherwise, we have our Católica stack in the same position as it was before we got Gilia, where we play 4 outfielders for Católica, but then we don't have the goalkeeper. Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't overpay to that extent for like a 32, 33-year-old, right? But because it's an under 23, 19-year-old, I do mind, I don't want to overpay, but then when I do overpay, it's like, well, at least it's a long-term investment now. So I'll be able to easily over the next, let's say 10 years, right? Or 5 years, if you want to say that. I should be able to easily make that money back. Easily. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone else really. Gar says, I don't think we want to sell because he has a really good fixture this weekend. Eli Room's now down to £14.58. Look at that. Yeah, it's well worth buying a room, isn't it? I mean, you know that even buying him now at like £14 is silly, but he's probably going to get a lot lower as well, maybe under £10, and then that's just a no-brainer to pick up Eli Room for £10. Yeah, exactly. Like his fixtures here coming up are Fortuna, Utrecht, Herenveen, then Ajax at the end. And then he's also got some qualifications, so some international games as well. I mean, it's a top quality keeper just playing for a really shocking team. And I'm not expecting him to stay at Vitesse next season. When they get, they are relegated, aren't they, basically? I think he's low because everyone is, everyone in Sorare, they get really panicky when they hold a player playing for a team that's bottom of the league, that is basically on the verge of getting relegated. Because then they start to worry, thinking, okay, I'm going to have a player that's not going to be covered. So there's a panic which sets in, and there's almost a bit of a sell-off. And that sell-off then drives the price down. So you can see the sell-off has been happening. It's just been driving his price down gradually. Because nobody wants to have a player that's potentially not going to be covered, right? But there's a big opportunity here where if you really believe that he's not going to play for Vitesse next season, he's not going to play in the lower division, that he will continue to play in a league that's covered, then there's a great opportunity to basically pick up a starting rare goalkeeper and a decent one for £15 and potentially lower. Like if he gets to under £10, which I think he will, and I'm expecting him to, then I might even buy another one, to be honest with you, because it's not like he's going to be £10 again in the future. If his situation changes, he'll probably shoot up again to 50, maybe even more, depending on what club he goes to, what his situation is. I mean, I thought this was very good, buying him for 45, but if you can get him for kind of like a tenner, wow, I'll probably buy in again for him. Time to buy one and start the Eli Room to Celtic rumours. Can you imagine, Scuds, if you bought him and then you concocted a story saying that Celtic are seriously looking at Eli Room You know what would happen in like one day? His price would like shoot up from £15 to like 30, well, maybe even more, 50, £50 or something. I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen more of that, where Sorare managers just try to manipulate a story so that they can cause a panic or a frenzy, a buying frenzy that then shoots the price up of a card, and then they almost like a pump and dump, isn't it? Yeah, just create a fake Fabrizio Romano account, use the same picture and everything, make it look like it's really legit, and then just that's your first tweet. All right. Yeah, so hopefully we can sell Peter Musa. Be lovely if we could, because then if we can, I'll probably keep a little bit of that money in the game, and then I will withdraw some of that money. The problem with Peter Musa, you can see here, is he's not being um, regularly traded. The last transaction for him was 19 days ago to Basilbot. So he's almost a player that's not really hugely in demand at the moment. So we probably will end up still having Peter Musa before the start of the game week. And again, if we do, then I think we keep for sure we only play one forward in threshold, and it probably will be Areola. But then maybe what we do, maybe what we then do is we then take out Biaki, because I think Biaki's still going to be injured. Yeah, exactly. That's why they don't want it. Yeah, because if they buy it, it's unlikely that they'll be able to shift it anytime soon. They want like more liquid cards, don't they? So it can be like a great player, which Peter Musa is, but if they look at the market and they see that no one's really buying it, then they're just going to ignore it. And that's kind of the frustrating thing, is that, he's actually very good. He hasn't had a good start to the season in the MLS, but Dallas haven't either. He's a designated player, so he's going to play every game. It's just a matter of time, really. It's literally a matter of time before Peter Musa starts to explode in the MLS. So I'm actually selling him prematurely. I should really hold on to him, but I see there's a little bit of an opportunity in another game. I want to take it, and yeah, this is a window for me to still make a little bit of profit on him. And you guys know, I always say it, if I have those little windows, they're those rare windows where I can make a little bit of profit on a player, I will usually do it. And this is one of them. Did you try it at 50 to 55? Are you happy with that? Reckon it's far enough under the floor recent buy that Satonio or another bot may snipe. Haven't tried it, but I'm tempted to do it possibly. I want to see how I get on at this price range first of all, and then as we get closer towards the game week, I might, if I haven't really had much interest in him, I might try a tactic like that where I try and sell him for under 60, or list him for under 60, and see if that can tempt any buyers out of the woodwork. By the way, I'm sure you guys have seen it. Maybe they fixed it by now. There is no prize pool. There's no prize pool for any of the cap modes at all. There will be. Don't worry, there will be. But right now, it looks like there's a bug where you can't see the prize pool for any of the cap modes. You can see there's no card price ball. You can see that there's still the threshold, but you can't see the cards here or anything. I know that Sorare are aware of it. I don't know what's taking so long to fix it, but this should be fixed soon. No matter how cheap I posted my cards, I always got undercut in a matter of minutes. Yeah, it's one of the reasons. It's a good point by Mark. It's one of the reasons why I don't want to start getting into just dropping the prices really low so quickly. Because like I could drop Peter Musa down to say like 50, and then what's going to happen is that somebody else will then probably just drop the price even lower than 50, and we're then just getting into that same routine of just driving the prices down when we maybe don't need to. So I'll keep it at this for now. Hopefully I can sell him for around this, if not more. I didn't really want to be selling him for this, actually. I kind of almost wanted to be selling him for around 80 or so, but I think that's unrealistic now at the moment. But yeah, we'll start here and we'll see if we need to go down. What I'm just trying to figure out here, right, what's going on with Biaki? Can we find any news on that? Like, what is his injury? Free Tip Scout posted an update about the test situation above for Eli Room. Thank you, man. There's a Seb Perez rare auction ending in 5 hours, 30 minutes. Thank you. Yeah, I'm probably not ready to buy him yet. I'll look to buy him maybe next week or something. I also don't have enough money to buy him, and in the Sorare account, and I'm not going to put any more money in. If anything, I want to be taking money out. So yeah, if we sold Peter Moose and we had the money, then I could look at the Perez, right? The Perez auction today, but it's probably unlikely I'm going to be able to. Yeah, this one here. Thank you, though, for telling me. His last auction went quite low, I think. Yeah, kind of like £54. I think that's pretty good. I guess this is also the frustration a little bit with buying and selling cards on Sorare, is that sometimes you'll spot an opportunity like this where you think, okay, I do actually want that player, I need that player. I want to be able to take part in trying to buy him, and I've got 5 hours and 28 minutes to do it. I can't sell my cards though. You know, like I can, and I have really been selling my cards over the last few days, but there's not really a market anymore where I can just go and list up a bunch of players, right? Even at their floor, knowing that I'll be able to get a handful of them sold before that auction ends today. The reality is that I'll get them up listed and then they won't sell. And then if I wanted a quick sale, I'd have to go to a bot, and then the bot would bend me over a little bit, you know, because they do and they don't, right? The bots are there so that they can free up money for you really quickly when there's no other liquidity in the market. But, you know, if there's no other liquidity in the market, or it's very slow and you need a quick sale, the market naturally doesn't really have that anymore. It used to, where you could put cards up and they would sell really quickly. But with all the changes that the game's gone through, it's not really a market environment anymore where you can just confidently know that you can put players up and they will sell quickly. Just too much supply and not enough demand, essentially. Let's look at a couple of players for the weekend. With low L15s. 2, 3, 4. And then what we can also do, I think, is we can put games played at 20% here. And then 20% here. That'll make a small difference. Probably not a massive difference, though. Yeah, there you go. Small difference. And then we just bump up the decisive a little bit more to that. 100. Again, if you can get to around 100 results when you're looking for players, that's actually a pretty good starting point to start going through players then. Doesn't take too long. And then you can filter it down even more. Let's actually have a look at who's got the highest L40 here. Because they're usually quite good players to start with. So Balik Wisher with an L40 of 55. I actually really like this guy. He's very good. He has an L15 of 39, which is very low for him. The comparison, very low. He's up against Cercle Bruges. Not that easy, a bit tricky. And then he's got USG twice in 470, 471. Then Club Bruges, then Cercle Bruges, because they're in that kind of championship round now. So they're up against the really big teams. Difficult fixtures, really. Good player, though. Definitely a cheat code. Oh, Inaki Williams is at home against Granada. That's pretty good. He's not been in good form, is he, really? But he's actually good. This is one of those fixtures where he could come alive. He's having an average of 2.8 shots per game and 1.3 on target. Those are good metrics. He has 9 goals in 28 games, which is a healthy return against an XG of 7.97. He has 3 assists there as well. So a little bit under delivering against his expected assist there. But he's creating 1.5 key passes per game. He's got some really good... He's doing all the right things, actually. And look, Granada are down here. Second from bottom. Granada have conceded 60 goals in 31 games. 6-0. They have conceded the second highest amount of goals this season. And they're going up against Athletic Club, who have scored 51 in 31. This is a great game for Inaki Williams to really... Look at that! They have scored 37 goals in 16 home games. That's brilliant. They've only lost 1. And Granada have conceded 34 goals in 15. This is absolutely the type of player that's worth looking at for the cap modes. If you need a low L15 player, a forward, this weekend, you've got to look at this guy. Not being very good, but this is absolutely the type of fixture where he could return to that. Barini's a cheat code. You guys remember Barini from the video that I'd done on YouTube. It's not starting enough at the moment. He will be a good player to look at, definitely for next season. What's going on with Marcus Edwards here? It's always going to be difficult for Marcus Edwards, right? He's almost got too many good players around him who are better than him. Where did he used to play, Marcus Edwards? I can't remember. Okay. I thought it was Wolves that he actually played at, but it was Tottenham. Came through the Tottenham Academy. His release clause is worth 60 million. Wow. That's mental. I don't know. I don't feel like this guy's really achieved his potential. I mean, he's getting on now. He's 25. 4 goals, 4 assists for arguably the best team in the Portuguese Premier League. It's not that great. It's okay. He has a 10% goal participation, which is very low for a winger or an attacking, offensive-minded player. And like when you look at his overall stats, I don't know whether they're okay. You know, they're pretty good. But I just don't know whether it's really enough for him for Sporting. Like he's got basically 46 involvements in a goal in 107 games. So it's not too bad, actually. I just thought that maybe he would be doing better than that. Still got a long-term contract there at Sporting. So it's probably unlikely that he's going to move. Yeah, he is very inconsistent. Yeah. When I look at Marcus Edwards, it's like there is a good player here with a lot of potential. At 25, he should really be hitting those heights now. He's almost in his peak. And I don't know whether we're seeing like peak performances from him. As it was mentioned in the chat from League, he's very inconsistent. And that inconsistency, you don't mind when they're younger, at like 21 or something, 22. But then by 25, you've got to kind of be delivering top performances, top attacking returns if you're an offensive player, like regularly. And he's not really doing it. I don't know whether this is the right league for him necessarily anymore. Maybe he could benefit with a loan or something to a slightly different league. Maybe he needs a different challenge or something. Don't know. When I look at him though here, it's I mean his last public sale was 367. Are you kidding me? When was that? Okay, 9 months ago. it was Lardinho. It was Andrew Laird. He bought him from Duke for £363. What the actual? I mean, to be fair, look, he's been very expensive because he is that type of high potential player. He's playing for a really strong team. You know, he's got good levels of scoring, but if you think about the cost of that player, 300, 400, 500 pounds, if you're going to be spending that in Sorare today now, you basically want to be doing it on a player that can do this a lot more consistently, like game week to game week. And as Liegman mentioned, you don't really know what you're getting from him. But every now and then he does pop up, he does really good, but it's all over the place, really. That there's too many games where he just disappears. Look at this here. Imagine if you spent like 400, 500 pounds in him, and for like 7 or 8 games he does that. It's going to feel like your money's not well spent at all. Like when he does that, that's good, and he needs to be doing that a little bit more. mean, the advantage with him, though, is there's no in-season cards. There's only classic cards. So he's in a really low level of supply. So even if you did end up spending like £363, which Laird done, it's not like you would be worried that his price has massively dropped because there's only 20 cards of him in the game. You know, but if Sorare basically got... Let's have a quick look here. If Sorare got the license, the new license for Sporting this year, which I think they have, and then they started to mint more cards, then it's going to be different. Do they still have the license for Sporting? I think they do, don't they? Do they not? No. Interesting. I thought they still did. But clearly they don't. West Ham have had their eyes on him for the last 3 transfer windows. I think like a move to the Premier League would be great for him. Be very good experience for him. Because, you know, when you look at his history here, he never really had much experience playing in the Premier League, even though he was with the Premier League club. He's actually not played a single game in the Premier League. That's probably the type of challenge that he needs now, isn't it? He needs like a much more competitive league, higher level teams, higher level players that will then mean that he has to step up his game to the next level. And I think a club like West Ham would actually be probably quite a good club for him. But it could also be a bit of a bizarre one if he was like a West Ham fan, because you'd be thinking, you know, like, why are we going for this player? Karol Swiderski here with an L15 of 37. Oh my God, Karol Swiderski is £7.55. Damn. He's really just a sub player at the moment. But could be useful. Hold on a minute. Trying to refresh my memory here. Because Poland did get through, didn't they? Yeah, they did. He could be very useful as like a cheap option for the Euros, really. Swiderski. I might look at that. If his price keeps coming down, and if he's like around a £5 or something, I'd probably pick him up for a £5 just for the Euros. Look, you can see it's coming down. It's coming down. Maybe give it another few weeks and he'd probably be under a £5. Oh my God, look at the race for getting promoted into the Premier League. How tight is that? 89, 88, 87. This would be so cruel on Ipswich if they don't get promoted. Can you imagine in the last 3 games, it just all crumbles away and they end up losing their last 3 games because their form at the moment, look, they're starting to feel the pressure. They've lost one of their last 3 and then they've drawn the last 2. So they're dropping points game after game after game. If they end up having basically led or been in the top 2 for most of the season, and then they end up missing out to Leicester and Leeds to get fully promoted or automatically promoted, that'll be brutal for them because they really have, I think, been one of the best teams in the Championship, so they do deserve to go up automatically, but they need to stop the rot to be fair to them, Leicester have also been dropping points, and so have Leeds. So all of these teams are feeling it. Southampton could actually come into the race as well. They have a game in hand. They win that game. They then go up to 87. And then if any of these guys then start dropping points even more, they could potentially have a bit of a late run, Southampton. But I think realistically it's going to be between these three, isn't it? For the two automatic spots. And even though I'd love to see Leeds in the Premier League again, so if Leeds don't make the two automatic spots, then I hope that Leeds can get promoted through the playoff. But if they don't make it through to the top two, then I think having Ipswich back in the Premier League will be great. Very different. Imagine having Ipswich and Luton, if Luton can stay up in the Premier League. It'd be such a strange Premier League to look at, having Ipswich and Luton in there. And then, yeah, if we can get Leicester back up in there as well, that'd be good. Yeah. But this is really getting quite interesting. Very, very tight. Leeds are crying at Wembley. I should check out La Liga 2. All right, go on then. I haven't really checked out La Liga 2 in a while. Oh, yeah, that is very tight, isn't it? Wow. Damn, there's hardly anything separating a lot of the teams in the top six there. Look at all these teams in like the top seven. They've all had experience in La Liga. That is competitive, La Liga, too. Look at Levante down here. And Elche as well, who got relegated from La Liga. I think, what was it, last year, wasn't it? Yeah, all the way down to 11th. It's really competitive. So if you were down here, look, if you're Levante, then you're probably thinking, look, we're not too far away. We're only 4 points away from getting into the playoff positions there. You know, you rack up 2 wins and some of the guys above you drop some points, you're back in it again really quickly. Who's the top goal scorer in the league at the moment? Okay, no surprise, it's Braithwaite. And then Fernandez with 17. You hold, I think you do, don't you, Lima? I think you have a lot of La Liga 2 players, right? If I'm not mistaken. Wow. How much is this guy's limited going for? £12, £13 technically. What a great season he's having, no? Look, you've got a forward card here with really good decisive scoring and AA. He is consistently, as a forward, getting AA of 20 and above. That 21, 17.6 here, 37.2, 22.4, 21.8, 25.5, 26, 21.5. Wow. I didn't know he was having such a good season. And we're talking about a 21-year-old here. Very good investment for the long term. Yeah. Even if his team doesn't get promoted, you could expect a La Liga team to come in and try and pick up this guy, couldn't you? Where's he come through? Has he come through Racing Santander's academy? Oh, there you go. That's why he's quality. Barca youth. Okay, Barcelona. Yeah. So that explains a lot. Interesting. He's only got one international cap for the youth teams, though. He's not quite been able to break his way into the youth teams enough, but you'd have to say after the season he's had, he definitely should be playing for the, well, potentially the under-21s, or at least getting into the squad in some way for potentially, you know, the Spanish side in the future. We've not done enough at the moment to really get in there. He needs to be playing top-level football to do it. But he's on his way. Definitely on his way. He probably will, won't he? Scuds, yeah. They bought him, look. Racing bought him for 200,000. Well, they bought him for free, but he had a market value of 200,000 back in 2022. He's now got a market value of around 2.5. So his market value was like 10 times, over 10 times, really. In 2 years. It's good. It's very good. Definitely want to keep an eye on. I reckon the mighty Luton Town should be taking a look at that guy. Can you imagine? Fernandez, so Pecky Fernandez, trading the glorious sunny environment of Spain for gloomy, cloudy Kenilworth Road. We've got to go through a house to get into the stadium, onto the pitch. It'll be a culture shock for him. I don't think he'll be able to deal with it. What else we got here? Oh, this is a good one. Morata this weekend against Alaves, who are not super strong. You can see with Morata, it's been a really underwhelming season for him. He misses quite a few chances, doesn't he? I think. Look, I think the big problem with him is that every game, he'll usually have like one big chance missed, and it kind of starts to hurt. Even here, look, he came on for 21 minutes and he missed a chance. It does start to hurt his scoring a little bit, but this is probably one of those fixtures where even if he's not going to start, if he comes on, could do something really good. He's quite expensive though, isn't he, Morata? I definitely wouldn't buy Morata for £80 in his new season card. How much is he unlimited? Oh, it's quite expensive, really. I feel like if he was starting a lot more, then you wouldn't probably mind paying it. But the fact that he's in and out, and he's also, look, he's missing so many big chances. Did he have a big chance in this one? There we go, look. You can probably click on every game. What about this one? There we go, look, big chance missed. He misses big chances in like literally every game. There you go. One, he didn't do it. But then, did he do it in this one? He came on for 27 minutes. There you go. Big chance missed. he can't finish his dinner. Yeah. But I think, you know, he's still quite young, like relatively speaking. Only 31, long-term contract, playing for a team that are consistently kind of challenging for the title, or at least, you know, top four. And he's part of the national team as well. So kind of an interesting player to invest in, because we know that Morata can be amazing. Look, he really can. He is 31, yeah. I actually thought he was 30 rather than 31. Still got a good few years of of gaming him though. Not a bad option technically for the cap cheat codes. Definitely got a good fixture. Just a case of whether they look to start him or not. I know exactly how you feel with Stony and Weirdo. You do think like that though every now and then, don't you? Think I remember being, like, you might think to yourself, I remember being like 23 or 22, and then you're like, where the hell has the last 10 years gone? It's almost like you've been in this black hole where you can't really account for the time. Like yesterday you were 22, and then you're like, wow, how am I so old now? I was talking to my friend about this yesterday, because I started to watch the new Fallout series on Amazon Prime, and I used to play Fallout 3 when that first came out, and I remember when it came out, and I had it on the Xbox and I played it like to death. I absolutely loved it, but it was such a big game that I never completed it, because I like to do all the side missions and I like to explore, and doing all that can take up a load of time. And so if you're doing that and you're not doing like the main missions as well, it can take so long to get to the end of the game, right? So I never done it, but I just really enjoyed it. And I was saying to my mate yesterday that when I'm watching Fallout, it's like it's transporting me back almost through a portal in time. It's transporting me back to, when I was like early 20s or whatever, and I was playing Fallout on my Xbox. And I said to him, like, it's so bizarre because I feel like I was doing that mission yesterday. I was exploring in the wastelands yesterday. Like I can still feel it. I can still I can live it as if it's still so fresh in my mind. Yet that was so long ago now. And it's like, wow, I can't account for the time almost, But watching Fallout is making me want to go and play Fallout again. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it's the same, Will. It's making me feel like I want to go back and start playing Fallout again. It really is. You finished Fallout yesterday. The series is insanely good. I am enjoying it. I think they've done a good job of like building, like transporting that universe that you get in the game into the TV series. They've done a good job there. You're playing Fallout 4 when I get spare time, are you, Sippity? Have you watched the series as well then? Are you looking to play Fallout in your spare time because you've just watched the series? Fallout London expansion coming in a couple of weeks, is it? No. Are you messing with me there? I don't know if you're messing with me or not. The really funny thing is that I played Fallout 3. I never played Fallout 4. I didn't play Fallout 4. I kind of wanted to play it, but because I knew that Fallout 3 was such a big game and I never completed it, I thought, well, if I get Fallout 4, I'm going to enjoy it again, but it's so big. It's like a 150-hour game or something, isn't it? Where you've got to be playing it consistently. It's just a lot of effort to try and complete it. And I prefer to try and target games where I know that now, with my current lifestyle, and I don't have a lot of time now, free time to play games like that. I try to, if I'm going to play a game, I try to play a game that's like maybe 20 to 30 hours, because then I feel like I can actually get it completed and kind of see the thing through to the end. Whereas a game like Fallout, the sheer scale of it almost puts me off now. If I was like 20 years back and I had all this free time to play a game like that, then it wouldn't put me off. But today, I feel like I can't really be investing in a game that is like a mammoth. I'm probably going to have the same dilemma with Grand Theft Auto when that comes out, because it's just going to be ridiculous, isn't it? Grand Theft Auto, it's going to be so big, type of game that you could realistically be playing for years, right? I'll still get Grand Theft Auto though, I think. Fallout London is due, but Bethesda just dropped a massive update and it's basically broken the London add-on. So now they have to go back and fix it. Not sure if it will be done in weeks, but it is confirmed. Wow, it is coming. I did not know that. Have you played Red Dead Redemption 2? I have played about 10 minutes of it and I loved it. I thought it was great. One of my favorite games ever was Red Dead Redemption, the first one. And I played that to death. Honestly, people didn't see me when that came out. I was just playing it. Even if it was like really sunny out, I was still inside playing Red Dead. I got really hooked on it and I loved it. And I loved the story and I loved exploring the Wild West and that. And I was really, when I completed it, couldn't wait for the second one. And then the second one came out and I didn't have a console at the time when it came out. So I didn't get it when it was released, right? But then I played it for like 10 minutes recently, as in this year. I love it. But the problem I've got with Red Dead Redemption 2 is that I want to play it, but I don't realistically have the time to go and play such a big game like that, which requires such a big investment and commitment of time. Even though I could play it for like maybe 20 hours and really enjoy it, I think I would just feel sad that I would then have to like leave it unfinished, or there'd be loads of things that I would still want to do. So I have played it, but it's a game that it's like a game that requires a huge amount of investment of time. That's the thing. I don't really have as much of that anymore, which makes me sad because I'm a gamer to my core. You know, I've always been a gamer and I love diving into games that you can spend 100, 200 hours playing, but I've also got to be realistic that I don't have the time for them anymore, unfortunately. Talking about going back to early years in memory, I've also got a playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Remake on the go. We'll be playing until retirement, though, as I get very little time, but I love the game so much. You have very little time, don't you, Sippity? You've got very little time. I mean, I said that I've got little time, but I don't have kids or anything. I'm not in a relationship, so obviously that's a lot of time investment into those guys, right? Which I don't have, so I can't imagine the very little time you've got, buddy. I never played Final Fantasy. I never got into it though. It was never really for me. Hello to Pyrrhic. Hey man, how you doing? I actually didn't know that we had another throw your hat in the ring. I've just spotted it now. So from Hasty. Hasty, are you still here? Did you end up selling all the players? Pretty much, yeah. I did. We sold 3 players today to Scuds as well. So yeah, pretty much the only player that I haven't really been able to sell is Peter Musa. Look. When I sell Peter Musa, I will most likely cash out a lot of that money from the sale out of the game. I might keep a little bit of money in the game from the sale, but largely I'm going to be cashing it out. He did, yeah. Herrera left. I ended up selling him for like £5.50 or something, which was a little bit lower than what I wanted to sell him for. But given the fact that I bought him for like 80p, I was like, you know what? I wanted to sell him for like 580. I'm selling him for 550 for the sake of 30p. I'm making a huge amount of profit on him. Let's just take it. So we took it. Don't actually know. I wonder whether he's been going for more recently. Was he suspended as well? Okay, I didn't know that. I think there needs to be a filter here, doesn't there? I think there needs to be a filter here where you can search for classic or in season rather than just saying, I want to look for the season edition. Maybe they just need to change that to, or add an additional filter where you can say, I just want to see the classic cards, right? But yeah, this was me here. I sold him for £5.50. And then his new season cards have been selling for £20. I'm okay with £5.50. It's not bad. I do think that he should be going for more, though. Got to be honest with you. I did have a box, yeah. I opened a box, I got a rare level up. So I only had one box to open, and I got a rare level up. Yeah. Which I'm actually happy with, to be honest with you. Having a rare level up. I think I used it already. I can't remember if I used it or not. Maybe I didn't. No, did I? I think I did. Yeah, I did, look. I don't have another level up in here. Did you get anything, guys, from the boxes yesterday? And that goes to Pyrrhic as well. You're putting your in-season contender team in Classic this game week to do a little experiment. Well, what's the experiment then? Do you feel like if you put it in Classic, you can win a reward that's worth more than what you can in season? Is that the experiment? You guys getting level ups galore. Pyrrhic got Elia Capriel and Alex Moreno from 15 boxes. Wow, you had 15 boxes to open? Oh my God. You smashed it. To have 15 boxes to open. Jesus, man. How many lineups did you have out from the weekend to get 15 boxes there? And where's Hasty as well? Hasty, where you at? Did Hasty drop the club or the match that he wants to do in the chat? Because if he did, I can do it now, but he redeemed the throw your hat in the ring, but then didn't drop the match that he wants to do or the score. Is he still here? Are you here, Hasty? Because if you are, I want to do your throw your hat in the ring. I think we had a situation before where Hasty was on a previous stream. He redeemed the throw your hat in the ring, but then he kind of disappeared. I don't know whether he understands how it works, where it's not a case of like redeeming it and then I do the prediction for you. Maybe he thinks that's what it is, right? Yeah, one of the problems though with that is that I can't really click on his name because I'm how can I explain it? I don't have the Twitch interface open. I'm using a different interface, so when I click on his name, it doesn't actually oh, that's, hold on a minute. Can I do it though? No, I can't. Oh, I can actually, to be fair. Yeah, I can. Good shout, by the way. I can actually do it in this interface that I'm running, but he hasn't dropped a message since the 12th of April. So he didn't drop a message at all. Thank you for that. I didn't know that. I don't know whether he understands how this works really. I mean, because I can't see him here. I can't see him here, and he hasn't dropped anything in here at all. Then I'm just going to refund that back. Yeah, I'm going to refund it. Tistil's done, Arthur's done, and then Hasty can have his refunded. Do we have any more? By the way, do we have any more predictions whilst we're on this page here? I was waiting for somebody to do a bit of a wordplay joke on that, and Scud's got in there. His name's actually Hasty AF, so I guess it's hasty as fuck. And he was really hasty as fuck. He didn't refund it, he redeemed it, and then he just left the chat, I think. Like, immediately. Was like, it's okay, Free Tip Scout will do the prediction. I won't. You need to tell me. Do you think Herrera will get many minutes? What, Hector Herrera? He should do, yeah. He should do. He's like the main starter for them when he is fit. I know that he's returned from injury recently. Yeah, he will. They'll ease him back, but then eventually they'll be increasing his minutes more and more. So yeah. God, Kareem Kanate has a home game against Klagenfurt. If he starts, he could do well. Do we have him in? We have him in the cap cheat codes already. What's happened to what's his name? Yeah, Borja Baston. What's happened to him? Is he injured? He looks like he's injured. He's a very budget forward, this guy. He doesn't really have any AA. But I had him before, and I kind of liked him when he was in good form. But he's been not as good this season. He's like pennies, basically, in his rare card. He's like 49p in his limited. Wow. There is no beat the base this weekend. Yeah, we didn't do it last week because there wasn't quite enough interest in it. And I'm not going to do it this week just so that we can have a bit of a pause from it, but then we'll revisit it next week. And if there is more interest in it, then we'll do it. But kind of it felt like last week that, and not just for last week, but for a few weeks as well, I've kind of been doing it, still offering the prizes, but there's been very little interest in it, or the interest has been dying away. And we kind of done a poll last week to ask you guys where you want to do Beat the Base. I'm not kidding. There was like 3 votes on it, and I was like, we're not doing it. If there's only 3 votes, we're not going to do it. You know what I mean? Like if there was enough interest, then we'd have like, you know, tons of votes for it. And I even, before we done the vote, I even dropped a tweet out so that any guys that don't jump on the streams could also have an input into where we done it. And nobody really responded, as in like nobody really said where they wanted to do it. So last week it kind of showed me that there isn't enough interest in it to do it, but we'll revisit it next week. How am I gauging the interest? It's really around, yeah, the polls. So every week I'll ask you guys, where do you want us to do Beat the Base, right? And if we kind of just run a poll live on the stream, like a quick one, I ideally would like there to be, you know, loads of votes for it, right? Because then it shows that there's enough demand for it and that people want to try and pick the league where they feel they have the best chance of winning the sticker in. But as I say, last week we had like literally 3 votes for it. And then the tweet that I also put out asking everyone where do they want to do it, pretty much got no responses. And it kind of confirmed to me, okay, I don't want to just keep running a competition and giving away prizes when there's not really an interest in it, you know? So I need the interest to be higher and then we can do it more. I didn't do a Twitter poll. That could be the thing that I do next week. I do a Twitter poll combined with a stream poll, and then we can kind of weigh up where the big interest is and then see it that way, yeah. I kind of asked a question in the tweet and it kind of just almost went over everyone's heads, really. All right, let's take a little bit of a breather here. So I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'm going to stretch my legs for a little bit, do the same if you want to as well. And then in about 5 minutes time, we'll come back and we can start to look at some other things as well. And I'll open up some more free tip scout coupons to see if we do any of those as well. So don't go anywhere, stay connected, and I'll be back with you guys in about 5 minutes. I'm back, guys. Don't worry. I didn't go to watch an episode of Fallout. Yeah, sorry, it was a bit longer than expected. But I'm back. How are we all doing? How's everyone doing? Should we use some of this opportunity now? I think I'm personally done with looking at players for with low L15s, right? I don't want to do that anymore personally. What I do want to do, I think, is I would like to not look at the club shop. I would like to try and get a bit more of a head start on figuring out the team still. Now, we pretty much put most of our teams together yesterday. Mainly in rare we did. But I just want to try and confirm them a bit more now so that we're good, mainly for the weekend. I mean, it is a glorious day out there, so I think I basked in the sun a little bit too much. I went out into the garden and the sun is really coming down, and I kind of sat down for a bit, and then it's almost getting a little bit too relaxed. So sorry, guys. Question, does it annoy anyone that you buy a player, then a week or two later, he is like £20 cheaper, says JD91. Yes, it really does, yeah. It really does annoy me. And I think it annoys a lot of people, but sometimes it annoys me more if it's a player I don't think should be going down in value, and they are. You know, like if it's a player that I think is performing really well and that they're really young and they're doing great, they're playing for a good team, they've got good utility, and then you see their price is like going down and they're £20 cheaper than what they were, and you're like, why? Or they're a lot cheaper than what they were. You're like, that frustrates me a lot, because then it makes me feel like I was right to pick them up when I did, but now they're a lot cheaper and I don't get it. I could have actually got that player for a lot cheaper, so I'd be, in your example, £20 better off. Yeah. I think we're all used to it as well, though, because it's rare. I think, unfortunately, we're all used to it by now. It's not a good thing to get used to, though. FTS, do you have a pet? Got a couple of dogs, yeah. Do you? Like Grimaldo well, technically Grimaldo shouldn't be going down because he's doing incredible, but Grimaldo will be going down because he has less and less games for the season. And so the way it works with the pricing in Sorare is that as they get closer to their season ending, he's going to get cheaper and cheaper. So, like, literally the best times to buy players are at the end of the seasons. You have a cat as well. How does do you have, like, you have a couple of dogs and a cat? Doesn't the cat, like, get outnumbered a lot? Or are your dogs nice and friendly where they, all your pets kind of live in harmony together rather than the cat living in fear of being mauled by the dogs? So you reckon Verts will go down? Verts will go down, yeah. Basically every player will go down. Let's take a random player, right? Like Mariki. Mariki is £18.34, right? Pretty good price for this type of player. I'm telling you now, look, you can see it. There's a trajectory. Nearly tripped up on that word. You can see the evolution of the price. It's going down. It's downward trending. And it will continue to downward trend right up until the end of the season. And it's the same for every European player or every player that's playing in a European club. They'll continue to go down. Some will have a little bit of a, they'll go down. And then with the Euros, which are going to be happening in the summer, some will have a little bit of a spike where their price will go up, right? Because then managers will start to turn their attentions to the Euros a bit more as we get closer to the Euros starting and the European seasons ending. At the moment, most managers are not really thinking too hard about the Euros for now. Everyone's still very much just looking ahead for the couple of game weeks ahead of them. So, yeah, you'll see probably towards the end of the season that there'll be like a big sell-off of players and the prices will really drop off so that then managers can get the money that they need to then go and buy the European players that they want for the Euros, right? So expect there to be a big sell-off within the next month or so. But the prices of all, like if we bring up, I don't know, we bring up Saka, right? This is his price graph at the moment. We go back 3 months. You can see downward trending. It's going to continue to go down and down and down. We're talking about a player here who's like an under 23 player, top talent, playing for a top team that's challenging for the Premier League. That's has so much utility in Europe for the England team as well. He's going to continue to go down, not because he's a bad player, but just because he is getting closer and closer towards the end of his season. And so much of the price of a Sorare card is locked into what you can actually do with it. And so if you can do less and less with it, then the card is going to be worth less and less in that season. Yeah, Verts, yeah. So Verts has remained actually over the last 3 months pretty stable, right? There has been, if you look here, there has been a gradual decline in his price. So at the moment, he's £579 in rare. If we go back to 6 months ago, it was 860, right? So he's not actually done anything wrong in the season. He's been amazing, but his price will continue to go down over the course of the season as he has less and less games to play. And his price has had a little bit of a spike because he's just delivered a hat trick, right? So when a player does something like that, there's going to be like a bit of a surge or a spike in demand for him. Obviously, he's actually been in incredible form as well, which has been a great reason why his price has not drastically been dropping. It's still been dropping, but it's difficult for his price to drop really aggressively when there's so much demand for a player that can do that, right? But he is continuing to go down, and maybe he will be closer to like £500 or less by the end of the season. But then there'll probably be a little bit of a surge in demand, so a spike in his price as people start to look at someone like Verts for their Euro 24 teams. It doesn't really matter what scarcity we're talking about here. The general rule remains the same, right? Doesn't matter if you're looking at limited, rare, super rare, unique. The super rares and the uniques don't tend to drop as drastically because there's fewer of them. But especially when you're looking at limited rare, basically if a player has less games in a season, their price is going to be lower than what it would be at the start of the season. Okay? So look here. You can see it, right? Downward trending. Downward trending. You could put a ruler there at all the top points and the ruler would be downward trending. Do you think Rashford will go to the Euros? He probably will, but he doesn't deserve to go. We're just going to revisit our lineup build for the weekend, the Cap 240. This is what we had before I sold Lewis Cook and before we decided that we were going to really try and sell Peter Musa this week. If we take these guys out and ask the lineup builder to build for us here. Okay. So now the lineup builder is telling us to do Kofi, Kadri, who we've already got in our team. At the moment, we had in our team. It's telling us to do Marcelo Benitez, which I don't think we would do. But it's... We have 16 points left over. Why would it tell us to do Marcelo Benitez when it would leave 16 points on the table here? That seems bizarre to me. Because it's not picking the like the other players. So for example, if we didn't have Smolcic already in another lineup, then it would probably pick Smolcic in here for 53, right? And then we've got a team like that. I see, okay. No problem at all, JD91. Have you been playing Sorare for long? Is it like a relatively new thing for you, Sorare? Because a lot of people that play Sorare for a while, kind of, they get used to the patterns where prices are high and low and when to buy and when to sell. But usually if you're new to Sorare, it's not the kind of knowledge that is known initially. Since November. Okay, fair enough, yeah. So this is probably your first season where you will see it at the end of the season, where the prices of cards will be, in most cases, at their absolute lowest, if they are at their end of their seasons. If we was not looking to sell Peter Musa, then I would be tempted in a way to run with two forwards. But you guys know that I don't tend to play two forwards in Threshold. I would be tempted to do it because we would have a very solid defensive and then midfield section. And then we'd keep the stack in place, right? But we're not going to do it like that. We are going to be putting Areola in. We're going to be taking out Smolcic, and we were looking to play Bokat here. And then we were looking to play Grigic as the extra midfielder. Okay. And then we would give the captaincy to Kadri, I believe. Yeah, that's what we've done. I still think that's pretty solid. I don't think we really need to change it. It is a little bit of a shame that we're not running the Dallas stack, but it's also not a good game to run the Dallas stack, and we still want to try and sell Peter Musa. Is that a good investment idea? To buy lots of good players at the end of the season, then sell them at the start of the season? It used to be. It's not as much anymore. What do I need to help with? But does he pick where the lineup goes also? So pick my lineup. I haven't opened it up yet, but I will open it soon. Pick my lineup is basically where I go onto your Sorare data profile and you tell me what competition you want to enter into for the next game week, right? So maybe you say, I want to build a team for Cap 240 for this weekend, but I'm not quite sure who would be the best 5 to play. Then I basically select the competition after you tell me, and then I look at your gallery and the players you've got, and I say, if I was in your position, these would be the players that I would pick, and this is why. So that's basically how it works, yeah. We will do that soon, though. So give it another half an hour and we'll start to do the coupons, guys, okay? Why is this prize pool not being fixed yet? I don't know what's going on there. Have they mentioned it? Over on Twitter? Or X, if you want to say that. This is a small thing, but this is another example of where Sorare needs to be much better here, right? We know that the prize pools are going to be fixed. It's probably a bug in the game, right? So it's not a real biggie. And we'll be able to see the full prize pools, I'm sure, before the game week starts, right? But everyone can see that there is an issue here and nobody knows what's going on, right? And so what Sorare basically need to do going forward, and they need to be getting into the habit of doing this, is that when there are like obvious problems in the game, they either need to have a system in the game that then just notifies people pretty quickly, and you can do it in 2 minutes that we've identified an issue with the prize pool, we're currently working on it, boom, done. Get that message out, send it in the game, everyone knows what's going on. Or you then kind of write something in the Sorare support, exactly what I just said there. You send it out so that your users are in the know. Often what they do is that they don't say anything, and they must get into the habit of communicating stuff like this. It's not a biggie, but the problem is that when you are trying to onboard and retain new users, right, it's really important that your new users feel they feel like they are playing something where they're not confused and they're not fearful of what's going on, right? Keeping them in the loop, even on small things, all those small things go a long way to building trust and building confidence in the game, in the team, in the platform. When you just kind of like, you don't say anything about issues which people can see, it kind of looks like you don't care enough to tell and inform your users of what's going on, or it looks like you are not aware of it, right? So either way, it doesn't look very good. And it only takes 2 minutes, right, for them to just kind of post things and say, yeah, we're aware. We know that you guys have probably seen it. Don't worry. We're working on it now. It's some weird bug and it should be fixed by the end of the day. But too often we see that Sorare don't say anything. It just looks like they're not on the ball with stuff like this, or they just don't feel that it's important enough to keep their users informed of positives and negative things that are happening in the game. And in the long term, that will start to hurt them if they don't get into the habit of doing that. Yeah, that's probably what will happen, isn't it, Con? They'll be fixed at like on Friday at 14:59, when that will be the first time that you'll be able to see the prize pools, right? And so you'll be basically building your teams blind, not knowing what is the maybe where's that link? I should have saved it. If anyone has the link for that spreadsheet again, I need to save it. Sorry, guys. I'll save it now. But does anyone have the link for that guy out there that's put a spreadsheet together which calculates the where the best chances are for you to win? Because that must be playing a little bit of havoc with his spreadsheet. If you've got the link, please drop it in the chat, and then I'll save it this time. I should have saved it on the last stream. Hello to Boyd as well. I want to watch you on Twitch, but it lags all the time for me, and YouTube is always smooth. No problem at all. Well, thank you for telling me. It doesn't tend to lag. I don't know why it's lagging for you. If it's lagging for others, then please let me know. But it's usually quite smooth on Twitch. But another reason why we stream to YouTube at the same time, so that if you ever have any problems on one platform, you can just easily jump over to the next one and still not miss out on anything. Thank you, Boyd, for jumping in, though. I appreciate it. There we go. FIFA's got it. I must add this, right? Let me add this as well as a... There you go. I've bookmarked it now. So Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so all the cap modes are not being calculated at the moment. Well, not just the cap modes, but the legacy modes, like even All-Star. I wasn't actually aware that All-Star's prize pool was not showing either, but it's not, yeah. And as I say, it will be fixed, right? So nobody really needs to panic, but it's the silence which worries me a little bit because, you know, if there's issues in a game, any type of game, if there's issues in the game, then you'll always have like the game that will either post an update in the game or they'll communicate to the main channel where most people can get that message, right? They'll let everyone know that they're on the ball. I think Sorare are on this at the moment. They're probably trying to fix it. But they need to start getting into that habit. And I keep saying it, and I haven't seen it really still. When things go wrong, it's not actually a problem because people expect things to go wrong, right? But what you should do is you should actually then feel like it's not a bad thing to say, look, we know there's a problem. Don't worry, we're on it. You know, just keep your users informed. Right, hold on. So we have done Cap 240, and I'm very happy that we've got Areola. Very happy, actually. I'll be even happier when we can sell Peter Musa. But Areola is much more suited as a forward for Cap 240 than Musa is. I actually bought Musa more for Champion America before they then changed the whole format. Because Peter Musa will explode to a big score because he has the potential to get 2 or 3 goals in a game, but his AA is kind of low. So I'm kind of going for like a high-end scenario with Musa, whereas with Areola, if he doesn't get an attack in return, it's fine because he has enough AA which will allow you to get a score of like 45, 50, and that is exactly the type of scoring which will help you get over the line in Cap 240. I like that. I like we've got him, and I like this team as well. I'm hoping that Kadri can hit one of his monster 100 scores as well. What do we reckon, guys? What would you say this team can do? 270, 340, or 390 points? I think that this is only going to hit 270. I don't think it's going to hit 340. I mean, if it does hit 340, great. Or 350, then we'll be looking at getting a card as well. But I think realistically, 270. I feel like the 340 could be on if Kadri hits a big score, if Kofi keeps a clean sheet against Yupen, if then either Grigic or Areola hits the score of 60 points or more, then it could be on. But there's a lot of ifs with that, which is why I don't think it can do it. I hope it can, but I don't think it can. 269.9. Don't jinx me, Scuds. Thank you also, Jay, for the follow. Guys, if you're not following me, by the way, I feel like that's our first follow today. If you're not following me, but you are regularly jumping on the streams, then do me a big favor and just follow the channel because that actually helps the appeal of the channel. It helps me and the channels to keep growing, helps me to attract more people into the streams as well. And if we can do that, then you guys profit in the long run as well. So yeah, if you're not following me, just drop a follow here over on Twitch. And if you are over on YouTube watching, please make sure you subscribe as well. I'll be releasing a new video on YouTube soon-ish. It's JD91. Didn't know you was only Twitch. Easier to listen at work. Yeah, cool. Right. Okay, I'm happy with that. I don't think we need to change that really. Anto Grigic did not get a yellow card, did he, in the last game? There we go. Arthur unfollowed and unfollowed. Love it. So we can have that that sound alert again. No, he didn't get a yellow card. Good. You've started something now, Arthur. Look, they're all at it. It's the follow train. Yeah, okay. So this is reasonably a good team. It says that we only have a 28% chance for hitting 270. I actually think that it is underselling us a little bit there. Really feel like we should maybe have higher than that. Maybe like 33. High chance for a clean sheet according to the odds here. Kofi is the standout pick for 240. Low cost there. Great pick score. Good averages. Really good win percentage. Great clean sheet. Great opponent score. You know what's going to happen now. He's probably going to concede 3 goals, isn't he? So all of this is going to be for nothing. A triple A that then ends up getting a triple decisive or something. Negative decisive. Okay, I think that's fine. The one thing that I'm not very clear on is what my second priority capped mode team is going to be. I'm thinking at the moment it's going to be cap 270, but I'm not that happy with the 270 team. So in All-Star, let me show you my All-Star team at the moment. Because what's funny is that we picked this team, right? We picked this team in the game yesterday. And then after the stream ended, I then thought, you know what? I didn't check to see what Sorare data would give as a rating for this type of team. So I then put that in, and it gave us a really good rating for that team. Well, it didn't give us a super high rating, but I think there's a lot of potential here. This is it. All of the players have high win percentages for their teams. They've got A's or double A's, apart from Garces, who's only at a B. I actually think Garces, who's playing at home against a team that are 16th, I think Garces can score very well here. So I actually think that the B rating, look, he's got a B rating because the projected lineup is missing. But I think once that shows at 100%, he'll be bumped up to an A. His scoring history apparently is not very good, but I think this is a really good fixture for him. You got no sound? You guys don't get the sound? I didn't know that. I thought you guys got the sound too. Thank you for telling me, by the way. I didn't know that. Okay, I need to look at that then. Because you guys should really be getting the alerts for the sound too. The fact that you're not, that is a problem there. There's sound alerts for subs, followers, and raids. Okay, so you hear it when there is like a new sub to the channel. Do you? Or like when you don't hear it? No. Okay, I'll sort it out. I'll sort it out. You should be hearing all the alerts. I didn't know that you weren't. So I'll look at that tonight, guys. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, so this team is probably what we're going to do. I think it's very strong. If we took it out and we done suggest a lineup, it gives us the same team. Apart from it now puts Paul Areola in there, but we're using Areola, of course, for 240. Then when we take him out, it puts Garces in there. So I think we're really sorted here. I'm very tempted to put the captaincy on Carlos Garces, though. This is a good fixture for Lyndon Zalahi, and he can score good, but the problem with him is that if he doesn't hit like a monster, and I mean like a monster AA, then he will only score around 50. And he can score 80, 70, 80 and above if he can get a decisive as well. So he has that real high end, which is great to captain. And he can do it against this opponent. I just need to figure out whether we think that Carlos Garces here can score a couple of goals against this opponent. This opponent, Deportivo, was it Deportivo Garcilaso? They have been conceding a lot of goals. So they've conceded 18 and 11. The 3-2. They lost, then 2-1, then 2-2, 3-2, 2-1. Their games are always over 2.5 at the moment. The last time that Cinciano played them, it was 3-0. And look, Garces scored a penalty. He got 7.8. Here, he got a score of 86. Yeah, they still play Diego Penny, don't they? They play Penny, and I don't know why. I mean, he's the captain, so I do know why, but they need to be playing, I think, Miguel Vargas a bit more. I think they will. I get the impression that they're playing Diego Penny because it's going to be his last season of playing football, and then he's going to retire, or even just for next season be the backup goalkeeper to Miguel Vargas. But they're so cataclysmic. I think that's the word for defending. It's bad. I'm very tempted. Yeah, I'm very tempted to give the captaincy to Garces because I do think that Garces could score a couple here. I really am. And even if he scores one, he could have that type of AA that then gets him up into 80-point range. I guess if we look here, though, hold on. Right, Garces' home form over the last 5 is a average of 66, and then in the last 15, it's 53. They have an opponent score. He has an opponent score of 59, which means on average, forwards have been scoring 59 against Deportivo. What I'm interested in is his ceiling as well. So ceiling over the last 15, 83. Over the last 40, 86, right? That is the only thing that's putting me off here, is that his ceiling is good, but it's not as good as someone like Lyndon Zalahi. Oh. Lyndon Zalahi literally can hit a score of 100. Look, he has a ceiling of 94.2 actually over the last 40. Over the last 15, 94. Last 5, 78.6. And he's got an AA in his last 5 at home, an average AA of 27.9 and a median of 64. He is actually the standout pick here from all the players I've got in most of the metrics. Yeah, I think that's why we would probably give the nod to Zalahi, but I am really tempted to put it on Garces, you know. I hope that both can do really well, and that let's say that Garces gets a score of like 80, but then Lyndon Zalahi gets a score of like 90, 100. Wow. Oh, not good. This fixture has seen under 2.5 goals in 6 out of the past 7 meetings. Essig might join Fortuna Sittard apparently next season. Wow. I could so imagine him playing there. That'd be where are they? Where are they in the league though? Fortuna. Okay, they're mid-table. I was a little bit worried there because I thought, oh, are they hovering down here? Yeah, they should be fine. In fact, they are fine. Where did you hear that, Ligma? Where did you read that or see it? Gignac has been in pretty good form at the moment. Look at that. He's returned a decisive in every single one of his last 5 games without fail. I was just trying to weigh up who we would captain in our Tigres stack for the weekend, and I think that's probably confirmed it to me. You can see the big problem, though, is that we captain him and he gives us a score of 60. That's not going to be enough, really, for us to get like a really good score in All-Star. Which means that I don't think I do it. Like, he doesn't really have that high end at the moment. No. We have to change that. We can't captain a player that's only really going to score between 60 to 70. On X, the guy just deleted the post though. Is that someone trying to pump anti-airseg? Someone bought anti-airseg and then they realized after they bought him that he's not covered anymore, that he's not playing for Istra, and they're like, shit, let's make up a rumor that will then pump his price and I can then sell him. Has there been any big? Probably there hasn't, right? Has there been any big activity on his card? Well, look, it has gone up a little bit. This guy has bought 2 from Basilbot 10 minutes ago. Is Basilbot are the bots secretly running a Twitter account on the side to pump these players that they need to get rid of? Right. Let's go back. I don't think anymore. Gignac. Angelo is the one that is sticking out to me as somebody that is very good to captain, but hasn't really been at the moment. Because Angelo can hit a score of 80, 90, 100, right? But he hasn't really been doing it. But he does have enough high end where he can do it. He's like a perfect player to be captaining. Because, you know, like if he doesn't hit an 80, 90, 100, you are still captaining a player that has the potential to do it. The difference between him and Gignac you can now see is that Gignac, to be fair, Gignac did used to be able to hit scores of 100, but he's 38 now. That might be past him. Like he was able to hit 95s and 80s, but he doesn't have the same high end. Look at all these 100 scores here from Angelo. It's largely because he's got that really good AA and he still contributes with decisives, right? So I'm thinking that maybe Angelo would be the better option here. If we do All-Star Limited and we do suggest a lineup, it's probably not going to give us our stack. No, it's actually going to give us, look, Luton Town, which is good for us here, because we're going to play them in the Premier League. But if we go with, where's he gone? So there's Angelo, look. That is the problem though, look. Angelo is not turning up here over the last 15 games. He's got no real high scoring. He's down here, look, 76 has been his ceiling. But over the last 40, he's also not been super high. He's down here. So in the last 40 games, he's not delivered a score. Where's this? At home, he's not delivered a home score of more than 76.28. Perez is out for, I think, another 3 or 4 weeks or so. I think we're going to do it though. Put it on Angelo, because if they miraculously keep a clean sheet, then again, we're getting 10 points, right, from the defender. So I think that's better. Like that. If Quintero was playing at home here, we would captain Quintero. Right. Then what that means is that our contender team doesn't change at all. We still run with the Universidad Católica stack. I don't think it's going to do that well because they're up against Colo Colo. Colo Colo are good. They're a strong team. Very strong. They're really underperforming this year, but they're strong. They're a good team. What is the matchup history between these two sides? Look, Colo Colo actually are considered the favourites here, even though they're playing away from home and they've lost their last 3. They are still considered the favourites against Católica, who are coming into this in better form. That's how good they are considered by the bookies. That they're expected to, according to the bookies, win. It could be I think it could be a draw though. I don't know whether having the captaincy on Zampedri or Tapia is good here. Tapia offers us higher upside. Zampedri is a big game player that is on penalties, but he doesn't quite have the same level of high end as Tapia. Look at the AA, 0.8, 5.3. Zampedri really only gives us a score of like 70, 80 and above if he gets multiple decisives like here. I don't think he's going to be able to do that against Colo Colo. He does not have a good record against them either. No. We leave it on Tapia, who's in better form. All right, guys, we're going to end the stream. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'll catch you on the one tomorrow.